اختيار قلعة الجاهلي كمشروع تجريبي لحماية التراث الثقافي لاعتبار قلعة الجاهلي من أهم المعالم التاريخية الموجودة في دولة الإمارات عامة ومدينة العين خاصة، أن بناها الشيخ زايد بن خليفة آل نهيان في 1898.
The idea of developing Jahili Fort as a major cultural resource in Al Ain emanates from a long process that started in 2003 with the UNESCO strategy for the management of the cultural resources of Abu Dhabi, and it led to the creation of the Abu Dhabi Authority for Culture and Heritage. And it included a plan to preserve and look after and develop the cultural resources within this emirate. Jahili Fort as being one of the most important cultural resources within Al Ain city. So we wanted Jahili to be the first point of contact for visitors, as well as a place of congregation for the inhabitants of Al Ain.
Turning the fort into a cultural center, I think it's going to be a very good step to educate UAE public, especially the locals, about their heritage in more interactive and educational surroundings. This also will benefit the tourist who's going to visit the fort, and they're going to know more about this historical building and UAE's culture.
Rehabilitation works at the Al Jahili Fort aim at both preserving the historic fabric of the building, but also at bringing back some of its past status and significance. Consequently, the approach to the conservation of the area was to alter the building as little as possible and provide it with the new facilities and latest technology to enable its future use as a visitor center.
We had to adopt new systems that are different from those used in modern buildings. In order to enable the contractors to properly execute the works, we had to deploy a team of specialists from abroad to let them be acquainted with such new systems and help them in solving any problems encountered during execution of the works.
We are applying a new cooling system in that building that differs from the classic air condition that we find all over the place here in the country. We are going to cool down the building itself and expect from that a lower energy consumption for the cooling system and a better well-being inside of the building. And this is simply done by applying pipes to the walls, and cold, chilled water will run through these pipes, which is roughly the idea like you treat a heating in cold countries, let's say. As soon as you have people inside, you need to exchange air also, which is done by blowing chilled air into the building, but at a very low rate, because the air is not supposed to cool the building, it is only supposed to exchange the used air. All building parts are covered by a pipe system of this size, which will end at the finished floor level and then covered with some grill or some furniture will come on top of that so you won't see it.
Der Raum, in dem wir uns befinden, liegt unter der Erde, außerhalb des Museums. Das hat hauptsächlich ästhetische Gründe. In diesem Raum befindet sich die gesamte Haustechnik für die Kühlung des Museums. Von hier aus wird sowohl die Luft, die hier gekühlt wird, ins Museum eingeblasen, als auch der Wasserkreislauf, der hier seine Arbeitstemperatur erhält und über ein Rohrleitungssystem dann im Museum verteilt wird.
One of the most important aspects of this project is the reuse of historic materials and the use of natural materials. We took down like 30% of the whole construction you can see behind me, and we reused all the materials. The plaster, we stripped down the whole plaster, we took down the mortar of the walls, we found the old mud blocks, and we reuse all these materials.
The process which you are seeing behind me, it's the mud which was removed from the building before the work started, and we are recycling it to bring it back to the building. First we have done a salinity test of the mud, and then the content of straw which was present in the mud, and according to that we have added few more straws in that, and after mixing it properly we have made a heap and then filled it with water, and this stays there for a month. The soil becomes more sticky, which helps when we apply the mud on the walls.
अभी ये दूसरा लेयर लग रहा है जो कूलिंग को कवर कर रहे हैं, और वो कूलिंग का 2 सेंटी अभी माल लगाएंगे, उसके ऊपर फिर ड्राई होगा और नेक्स्ट उसके ऊपर थोड़ा पतला माल और लगाएंगे.
ये खाली मिट्टी ने रेतीथी मिक्स कर नाखीए ने आ माटी छे ने जे आपणे લીપણની એ માટી પરાર સાથે મિલાવીને નાખીએ.
Die historischen Materialien, so wie wir sie dort vorgefunden haben, werden den Anforderungen, wie wir sie unter der neuen Nutzung haben, nicht gerecht. Und wir haben punktuell versucht, die Eigenschaften zu verbessern, teilweise konstruktiv und teilweise vom Material her. So haben wir den Fußboden jetzt mit demselben Material realisiert, aber haben dort einen Naturwachs aufgezogen, der die Abriebfestigkeit verbessert.
في بناء قلعة الجاهلية مواد أولية طبيعية من طين من وجذوع نخيل. كانت تواجهنا بعد شوي صعوبات في جلب المعاريض من واحات النخيل وعملية قصهن بقياسات متساوية. الشيء الثاني عملية تجفيف المعاريض بعد قصها حوالي مدة 6 شهور. قبل استخدامها لازم تكون هالمعارض جافة 100%. فكل هاي الأمور احنا قمنا نشتغل فيها من أجل أن نرجع القلاع في العين على الطبيعة الأولية التي بدأت عليها.
روحنا بنسوي هنا بنيبسها وعقب بنحطها بالسم تقريبا نص ساعة، عقب بنحطها بالشمس 2 3 عقب بنوديها. الحين خلصنا من المعاريض، ثبتناها على الجدران، كل مكان ثبتناها. الحين بدأ المرحلة الثانية عشان نركب الدهون. المرحلة الثالثة باقي هذه كهرباء ما مثبتين، بعد الكهرباء سبية إن شاء الله.
We're not doing archaeological work for archaeological research purposes. We're doing it to find out more about the building and thereby avoid any future problems, either structurally or when we come to do some of the works associated with the project. Our major aim in all of this is to record this information so that we can present it either directly to the visitors to the site or subsequently in publications and other public media.
In addition to renovating of the Al Jahili Fort, also we did also renovating for Al Jahili Mosque in the south of the Jahili Fort. From the archaeological investigation being done during the restoration, by reading the blasters, layers and the material that we used, we know that it is very connected to the history of Jahili Fort because they share the same layers of plaster and the same layers of the ground. Jahili Mosque will be, we are thinking also to use it as it is in the old times, so as a mosque again.
In order to determine the best way that the exhibition hall would look at the end, we prepared a mock-up of the main exhibition room. We prepared the room as a mud brick structure with the right lighting. Then we prepared some options for the boards, how we would like the photos and the texts to look. We engaged our communications department and the company we work with to produce the graphics for it in coordination with our consultants in Germany. And then we put them up and had some meetings looking at the options and decided which one to use.
We chose to do an exhibition of the photographs and writings of Wilfred Thesiger. The reason being that he journeyed across the empty quarter in the 1940s, and at the end of the journeys he stayed here in Al Ain with Sheikh Zayed. So he thought it would be very appropriate to have a photographic exhibition of these journeys here in Al Ain because many of the photos are of Al Ain.
Die helle Farbe des Columba Grau ist hier gewählt worden, um einen neutralen Hintergrund zu schaffen, um später hier Kunstobjekte, Bilder, Gemälde ausstellen zu können, damit man einen dezenten, aber doch nicht ganz sterilen Hintergrund hat.
Die Idee war, anhand der Fotos die Reisen vom Thesiger zu erklären und ihn sozusagen mit auf die Reise zu nehmen. Und zwischen den drei Themen gibt es kleine Räume, wo Leuchtkästen stehen, wo jeweils ein großes Bild mit Siebdruck realisiert ist, was den Besucher durch das Thema leiten soll.
فتح باب الخير في باب العلا زايد بالعلي المنيفة فتهان العز قالت ترخوا دار جد شاد زايد بن خليل